So we move on. Our next speaker is a man who's made his mark in the field of IT and decided to pursue his dream, his vision. His name is Pratap Singh Aditya of Ekgaon Technologies. May we have Vijay up on stage, please? Vijay is going to speak on how enabling technologies for access to farm advisory, rural youth, entrepreneurship and employment. Vijay.
Thank you for having me here. I wanted to talk about my work, and I have a video to show, so I wanted to get it out first, and then I'll start going into details of my work as well as what I'm supposed to talk on the topic that I've chosen.
Swami, a farmer working in a remote village in Tamil Nadu, does not need to look at clouds to predict rain. Nor does he travel to various mandis to compare vegetable prices. All this information is available on his mobile phone. And this is possible because of Vijay Pratap Singh, founder of Ekgaon Technologies.
I started working on research on using information technology for providing services to grassroots innovators, working with a professor at the Institute of Management in Ahmedabad. That led to the idea of coming up with Ekgaon Technologies.
Vijay Pratap and his team built a software that runs on mobile phones and provides customized services to individual farmers. Information like weather forecast, crop and soil nutrient management, disease alert and market prices all are available on the mobile device. More than 12,000 farmers have benefited from this initiative.
One farm technology showed me how to use less fertilizers, and I have been able to save a lot of money. I get a lot of useful market alerts from them.
Ekgaon Technologies has also extended banking facilities.
Since I'm going to talk about agriculture, hence I'm not going to play about other work that we do. The topic I have chosen to talk about is related to agriculture, because that's the snippet that you have just seen on our work in agriculture. But I'm trying to focus the topic towards what is happening in agriculture as a scenario over a period of time, and also to look into how employment and entrepreneurship is built or not being built, or what are the constraints which are for the youth of the country and specifically for rural youth. So that's what my focus is, and I'm just trying to highlight issues on which we are working, and what issues in general are there in the sector as such. A brief about ourselves. We were founded in 2002. I am one of the co-founders of the company. We have been focusing from the day one of our work is we want to use information technology to enable services access in rural area. That has been our prime concern, and that's what we have been doing for last 10 years. The focus has been on enabling that access, not necessarily we ourselves provide the service. Initially, we started working on enabling access for financial services. Microfinance is what popularly called, but we call it a financial services as a bouquet of different services which are required by people in the rural areas. So that was our starting point, and now we started providing advisory to farmers on agriculture, because finance is one aspect of their lives, but primary occupation that most people in rural areas are engaged in is agriculture. The important thing that I want to tell you about is that one of the things that we built our work on was, from day one, was that we believed that through market intermediation we'll be able to provide services, and we believed also that the rural customer is ready to pay for our services. We believed in so strongly that we started day one as a for-profit model, and it remains as a for-profit model even now. There's no non-profit, for-profit, hybrid or anything. It's a pure for-profit model from day one, and our revenues have been helping us to grow and take forward our work to it. So that's what we believed in, and I think, and we believe that farmers are ready to pay, provided, the most important thing is provided they are getting a useful service to offer. And that's where the core is. If you provide a farmer a useful service, you will find a very, very eager customer there. And that, if you want to see how that is happening, see the mobile phone market, which is growing much faster in rural area than urban area right now. What we do, like I said, provide information-enabled services. Technology being enabler for us, mobile phone is one of the point of delivery mechanism for rural services. Not necessarily our entire work is limited on that. Our primary two domains of our work are in financial services and agriculture. And the reason is very simple, because across the world that we see, particularly in developing world, most people are engaged in agriculture and most do not have access to finance. And the same people need both services. So that's what the initial motivation for us is. The agriculture services that that was shown in the video are we have branded it called One Farm, which essentially is a bouquet of services which a farmer can have. The focus of our services is small and marginal farmer, because not just because most of the farmers in India are small and marginal. Most of them have 0.7 acre of land holdings, and that is success over a period of last 15 years, 20 years actually. The land holding has grown down from 1.8 acres to 0.7 acres. And that's what is going on and on as of now also, because farm sizes are getting smaller. And this is both a problem and a challenge, because primary livelihood security of the farmer is getting challenged, and land on which the small and marginal farmer is working on is not remaining as the primary source of their income anymore. It is not even meeting 40% of their livelihood requirement. And the most important part why we believe that there is a potential of a good service here, there is also a big market for us, because there is a huge number of farmers who do not have services access. Agriculture extension system doesn't reach them, and they, if you provide them a good service that could be useful for them to improving their crop productivity, then that is something what would help them. This framework is simple. We have created a backbone of technology where we have a range of solutions, multiple solutions working, which provide soil nutrient management, disease alert, disease and pest alert, market information, weather information, all combined as a bouquet of services which is offered to a farmer as a package for a period of 3 to 4 months, depending upon what crop they're growing, as a customized package in 120 rupees on their mobile phone. So this set of information helps them to reduce their agri input cost, which is what our primary focus is. That they reduce their cost and increase their productivity. Our field observations of 2 years have shown that the farmers have been able to reduce their agri input cost by 30%, and they have been able to enhance the productivity, crop productivity by around 10 to 15%. So that is what for us is very important, because that's what we talk about as impact. Because if a farmer is taking 120 rupees of service and able to save, clearly demonstrated saving of 500 to 600 rupees in fertilizer and pesticide, a farmer himself is encouraged to buy that service. This is some of the sample shot of our screen, which both comes in text as well as in audio, because most farmers' phone don't support local language in SMS. So our information is provided to the farmers in voice through an outbound call mechanism. I'll have to skip this because I think I'm running out of time here. Let me come to what the scenario I'm seeing here. I'm seeing a scenario where over 800 million mobile phone connections are there in the country right now. There's a growing reduction of voice-based revenue. There's a growing increase in the database revenue or value-added services-based revenue growing for telecom companies. Hence, there's a necessity for them to explore the value-added services market. And when I say value-added services market, you just need to see what it means to a company. Airtel has become the #1 music retailer in the country. Not Sony, not any other company which have been there for 40, 50 years or 100 years in music. It's Airtel which is selling more music than anybody else. And that's what the power of network is that can be provided. So if we build information-enabled services on that, that will help them we have a huge market to offer to farmers. And what my point is that if utility services like One Farm services is provided to the farmers, they will be benefited, as well as it will be a viable business proposition for people who want to provide that service. Coming to the challenges, giving you a global picture, then around 40% of world food security is linked to small farmers. There's a growing interest in the smallholders across the world now because there's a growing saturation of the large farm production, and focus is now being shifted, including of corporations, private corporations, towards the small farm holders, which is both a challenge as well as an opportunity, because if you see the challenge, then we are going to burden the small farmers with debt for buying fertilizers and pesticides to increase productivity. At the same time, if we provide them right information and advisory and services access, probably will help them also to increase productivity while being sustainable as well. And the reason why smallholders matter for India is that we have 70% of them. And we have also the largest food market in the world, which is increasingly being linked to a big retail chain. And we see there's a huge potential for these smallholders to play a proactive role in such a way that primary level value chain is able to get back to these people, wherein primary level of value addition, which they are not doing right now, they're just supplying the raw produce that they find to the middlemen and through that to the market, if we are able to encourage that. And that's where probably the opportunity and challenge lies, because of all the people that graduate in our through our colleges and universities, including agriculture graduate. By the way, 95% of our agriculture graduates coming from our agriculture universities don't work in agriculture. They work in everything else, but not in agriculture. So you can understand what situation the farm extension mechanism faces the country. And we have about 3 million graduates coming out of our universities every year. The jobs are less than 1 million, and we don't know where to place the other rest of the people. And most of these are the young urban rural youth which is coming and trying for higher education and not finding, for various constraints, as we all know, not finding viable opportunities in the job market. And these are the people who actually get dissatisfied and try to go back, because education has not helped them in a way, because they are not able to get a good job. And at the same time, agriculture is becoming unproductive for them, because it's not giving enough outcome for this. Even if we see that agri productivity has gained over 3 to 4% over years, but that's not enough. That's not linked to the inflation if you see the total productivity. My contention and our contention at Ekgaon is that there's a huge potential of creating job opportunities in these markets, and the big opportunity that lies in this market can be demonstrated by just one particular sector, which is telecommunication sector, which has been able to create 1 million jobs in rural and semi-urban areas for people earning around 1,500 to 4,000 rupees through just reselling cards and value-added services these mobile retailers provide. This is just one of the market. The point is that can't this be possible to use the same technology platform to use the same network of reach out to provide certain value-added services which can provide basic level of initial work or to this rural youth to become self-employed instead of trying to find jobs somewhere else, because if you want, somebody wants to believe that all the people who are coming out of this country in the current job market can be absorbed in the job market, it's just not possible. It's not been happening and it's not happened also. And also we cannot transport all our 70% of our population from rural area to urban area, which China and other countries have tried to do. It has its own negative impact. It doesn't have positive impact. So my submission to all of you as well is that it is better to create job opportunities down the value chain in a market where food, which is linked to agriculture, has such a big opportunities for everybody else, and technology can play a role in that. Thank you.
Thank you, Vijay. You may take center stage and we may have some questions for Vijay. Using IT to enable people in rural.
Can somebody put the mic?
Yes. Professor Bangia. Please wait for the microphones coming to you. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Since you are undertaking so many activities under this project, I think you must be knowing Agriculture Today also, which is published.
Yes.
You know Mr. M.J. Khan, Dr. M.J. Khan, who is the chairman?
Yes.
Anyhow, I am connected with him for the last 10 years. Anyhow, since you are doing all this wondrous job, I would like to know, as a CSR, means what kind of services you can provide through even NABARD about the self-help group in microfinancing. Are you doing something as a part of CSR activity?
Well, we are not working directly with NABARD. We've tried to work with them a lot of time, but I don't think our speed matches. It's not been able to work out. But we are working huge on SHGs. In fact, as of to be on an average, I think we would have around 800,000 women SHG members on our technology platform across the country, across 14 to 15 different projects. They are using our technology platform to do financial transactions that they have. This includes savings, credit, external loan from the bank, and maintaining their own internal loans. We have implemented a big project called Sakdarpan in Rajasthan with the Department of Rural Development, Government of Rajasthan, and it has now been shifted to Rajasthan Gramin Ajivika Vikash Parishad, which is a special body created by the Rajasthan government with Chief Minister as the chairman. Under this particular umbrella of institutions, we have created a technology platform which works with mobile phone, and it aims to connect all the 300,000 SHGs, means at least 15 to 20 million women members will be on the platform in next 3 years' time.
So a lot of other things can also be done under agriculture extension program also. I think
that's what we are doing. This one farm service is technology-enabled agriculture extension.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you, Professor Bangia. Thank you, Vijay. Any other questions? Yes, we have Mr. Ravi Chaudhary.
Actually, I am very enthused by your focus on generating rural employment down the stream and create added value there, because therein lies the real fast, rapid growth in India. Could you tell us what individuals, corporations, and civil society could do to create more jobs in rural employment outside the stream of government activity, in spite of government incentives, in spite of low infrastructure? Any thoughts and ideas on that?
Examples that I was giving was technology enabled. So I was just trying to tell that actually technology offers an incentive of going beyond the infrastructure. So mobile phone doesn't require infrastructure to reach out to the rural people, and thankfully it is reaching out there. So most of our work is concentration of using the technology. But since your question is generic, let me try to respond from our experience of rural India. What we have seen is that there's a growing concentration of people in rural area getting frustrated with urban jobs that they try to do and have seen failures and or not getting good, what do you call as life that they can get in urban areas, and they want to go back. Most of them are youth. The problem with them is they don't get viable job alternatives in rural areas. Places where incentives can be created. There has been increased focus of NGOs and social organizations which have been trying to work on livelihood securities on focusing too much on organic farming as one of the thing, of course ecological and everything, but we have to also understand that doesn't give the amount of revenue that is required for securing livelihood for small farmers. They have very small farm. Total risk is on that farm. If one crop fails, then they are completely in poverty. They cannot wipe out that poverty in two or three crops as well. So these are very, very high risk people. So if you want actually them to have a livelihood security, the only way possible is to link their crop production with the market. They grow what the market demands. They don't grow what government is trying to say, or traditionally they've been growing, although that seems to favor in our development circle, people seem to favor these two options, traditional crops and those. I think even if you grow traditional crops, no problem, but it should have a market demand. You should not be trying to burden the small farmers with that. Giving you a small example, I'll take you to Gujarat, where in the Junagadh and other region, there was a lot of groundnut being grown by farmers for few 10, 20 years. And after the last financial crisis, in the last financial crisis in 2008, many of the farmers' son who have gone to Surat for diamond cutting jobs and all that lost their jobs. So they came back in mass, back to their farms because they didn't have any jobs. So some of them had observed in Surat and Ahmedabad that watermelons, the big watermelons, the striped watermelons was available and it was having a good price. So few of them thought that why not let me try to explore if I can grow watermelons in my field. Those fields are high in salt content, and a lot of salt waste air comes from the sea because it's next to the sea. So it's not an ideal thing for growing watermelon, but few innovative farmers thought of growing watermelons. They got some support from private companies who were selling the seeds of watermelon, nothing to do with the government. And they did a fantastic job on their own by putting water and sprinkler system to wash off the salt from the thing, because they invested a huge 3 to 4 lakh each in their farms. And now you go to that particular region, the farmers, young farmers on their own, has transformed their own agriculture from groundnut to watermelon, completely market-based, paid back their entire loan in 2 crop cycle, and are doing pretty well. So that's what happens if you choose to go with the market and not just with that. Even if small farmers, you will be able to have a sustainable productions.
Okay, thank you, Vijay. And we shall conclude with that.
Thank you
so much, Vijay, for the brilliant presentation. Your certificate. So that was Vijay presenting his thoughts on how he's enabling rural India with IT. And I think there were some brilliant ideas over there, ideas for action as well.